everyone, I'm Rita with Everything Homemade, and once again we are in the garden planting. So today the agenda is to get the tomatoes in and the dill. If you look behind me, you will see empty rows, and many of them, and that's where the tomatoes are going to go. So we are literally going to be digging holes and transplanting them closely to how we did the cucumbers and the zucchini. We're going to dig the hole, put manure in, put a little bit of soil on top, and then the tomatoes, mix the dirt a little bit with manure, put it around the roots, water them in, and then later on put some tomato cages around them. So the process is fairly simple, but again, we're utilizing the natural manure, the natural nutrients booster that we're going to provide the plants. So I find it really handy, and I have mentioned this on previous videos. On a previous video when I showed you how to plant tomatoes, I was using goose or duck manure. Exact same thing. Right now I just have a ton of cow manure that is nicely decomposed, so I am just using that. But duck and geese manure, I mean, is exceptionally awesome as well. So you put that in the hole, and it just provides the tomatoes with nutrients for the growing season. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to be popping out the tomatoes the same way as we were doing the corn on the previous videos. So a lot of techniques, once we do it for certain plants, you'll see a lot of overlap. But I am still, bear with me, as I still show you everything that we are doing, because this series is following us all the way through the gardening season. So some things are going to be repeat, but that's okay. And some people really love seeing how we do every single plant. So without further ado, let's head her on. You'll see Grace and Ocean in the background. They're already working on the first tomato row. We're gonna grab our tomatoes and start planting. Okay, so we are ready to plant. Now, we have our wonderful tomatoes. We're gonna do cherry tomatoes first. The first row here will be. So what I like to do, if this is my end of my row to my path, I like to start a bit into it, because you gotta remember that your little tomato plant will bush out quite a bit. So you don't wanna get too close to the edge, because then you got no walkway. So what, again, simple as it is, you guys make a nice deep hole, way overshoot what these roots will be, but you want to bury in a good amount. And it's really easy to make a hole here because we got so much, the beds are quite raised. So just like that, look at mine.
Okay, so like that?
Nothing to create, yep, just like that. So Ocean, you want to grab me some manure? And this is what's nice about doing a raised bed. Yeah, some more. Doing a raised bed, because it makes it so much easier to mix in the manure. Because like I said before on a different video, that we're only a couple inches to clay. So I'm really trying to raise the topsoil. And that does not happen overnight, but it will happen quicker now that we're in a cycle of decomposing cow manure. Every single year we'll have a massive amount. All right, so get your manure here. Nova just came with us to give us a hand. So we are basically planting 4 plants at a time. So once you get your hole done, Nova, you add some manure. You grab a little bit of topsoil, put that on. Awesome, like that. And then we are actually missing some spoons, so I'm gonna just use my garden shovel. And when I'm looking at my plants, I'm looking at the strongest plants to go in. And what I'm going to do in my containers here is I'm just going to split out a grouping and then split it out for the rest of my children, because the roots are going to be quite tangled. So I'm just kind of going to take it like this, okay? And I'm just going to now I'm just going to gently take a plant and kind of loosen its roots and pass my tomato plants down to my children.
Like that, Mom?
Yeah, good job, Nova.
Some manure.
All right, can you two? I got 2 plants here.
Hold on a second, I gotta give Nova some manure.
Okay, so they're gonna go in a bit of shock, but a lot of water will help them. Okay, let's plant these dudes in real quick here.
Okay, we need one for Nova. She's basically putting the
how
topsoil
deep?
on.
Look at your roots. You can go.
Nova,
Up to the first leaves.
make sure.
Yeah, hold on, hold on. Wait for Mom. All right, so we got our plants here. Okay, this is the false leaves. So we can actually go higher than the false leaves, you guys. I want you guys to go right to the first step. Tomato plants are unique. You can actually bury them anywhere on the stem and they'll root out on that stem. So in this case, bury them as high as possible for the strongest plant.
Like that, Mom?
Yeah, and you could have gotten even a bit higher, but you should be still okay.
It would help if my hole was deeper.
Okay.
Instead I'd have
Mom,
more
like
room.
that? Like that?
Yeah. And Grace, press your plant down. And the other important thing with tomatoes is I like to well them because they love water. So I like to make sure that around all my plants I move the dirt higher, making a well around my plants. I also want to press the dirt nice and snug around them.
There.
And so take the bottom and make sure you press down the dirt. And Ocean, you see what Ocean is doing here? She has a little well compared to my big well. So I would like you to modify. Everyone,
Is this one good? This one?
yeah, look at the rows are 2 feet. So make your well as big as the row you have available to you. So make that well much bigger so the water can absorb around the roots because the
Like
roots
that
come
for
out.
plant
So I'm looking at like that, okay, Ocean?
Yep.
Kilo? Like that?
Yeah. Now make your well.
Like that?
There we go. In this case, you want to biggie size. Nothing small because what happens is the roots come out, okay? And so you want to have this whole space watered. all done. Take a look at the tomatoes. All those tomatoes that are in, they're looking good. Some are in shock. The ones that we did at first and watered are back up. The other ones that, like this guy right here, he's laying down a little bit. Give him about another 25 minutes and he'll pop his head back up. So a little bit of shock, but don't be scared when you do that. When the tomatoes do that, because they're just going, oh my goodness, you just ripped me out of my container and put me in somewhere else. Plus, it's a little bit warm. Ideally, you should really plant in the evening, but that's ideal. I sometimes don't have that ideal time. So right now, we are going to go in for lunch. We are going to just water all our rows that we have planted over the couple of days, give them a top off of water, and then we're going to go plant the dill. Hey everyone, we are back. It's the evening. We did the tomatoes in the morning. It was super, super warm, way warmer than what I expected. We kind of needed to take a break from the heat. So we are back here. It's in the evening and we're going to do the dill. So the dill row is right here, right beside me. It's not gonna be crazy big. You don't need a lot of dill. The small amount goes a long, long way, and I have plenty of dried dill from the previous year. So we are simply gonna plant in just like we did the lettuce beds. The tomatoes and the dill are all planted in. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Enjoy the few pictures of the tomatoes.